lineup is pretty okay as well. Very balanced, solid front to back, like we mentioned. Play off of Gary, then scale for
But the
Ruff.
land of Dawn opens up once again. Our very first game in the MPL Malaysia Season 17 playoffs. Give it up for Vamos versus RRQ Tora.
And things have already initiated here for our playoffs. Vamos and RRQ Tora, we try to make sure they maintain lane dominance. And that's the important thing. So far, we don't see that Sapat actually gets the proxy. He's forced into lane, which is not that great. But look at the Purifies coming out from the side of Tora. Oh, no.
Speaking of which, Kalakun already getting taunted pretty hard. Now, of course, got taught Zeusin, one of the age-old mid duos. Gonna be hard-pressed to trade that, especially with an Atlas on your side. So that's something RRQ can play for.
Oh, and they're making sure that they can control the weak side of the map here. That's, again, very good ideas from RRQ. Use your mid pressure early on, get these trades down, get the early invade, and also help out Dyron at the same time. So again, this early game seems very well rehearsed from RRQ Tora. I want to see it transition into mid, because the first turtle is going to matter a lot for Guinevere, and we want to see whether Air 404 actually finds an engage down bot side.
Yeah, we know that Vamos really likes playing around that Guinevere level 4 timing, so we gotta watch Error 404. Currently level 3, should be hitting 4 soon, but based on their movements across the map, I don't think they're trying to hit that too hard since their mid duo, unfortunately, not having lane prio.
Oh, let's see whether they find the recovery gank here. We see that Guinevere doesn't bother going down to the bottom side, goes straight to top side and is now in position to try and attack somebody, but RRQ isn't giving them the bait that they're looking for.
Zakiev gonna jump in, though Huidi should be fine under the tower here. Atlas does provide pretty good setup for Guinevere, but he's gotta land it.
Yeah, fun fact. Atlas, especially when he's... Oh, wait, hold on.
Error playing a dangerous game, nearly dies to the fracture. Down to 20% HP. That's gonna make it hard to contest Turtle, but he'll be able to heal up off the crab.
This should be a no contest now. Yeah, they can't walk up.
Good zoning from Kim.
There's nothing they can really do about this. They're going to take this... Oh, wait, hold on.
Gary secures it. They're going to try and force the fight, but RRQ is disengaging. So far, positioning is very clean from the Kingdom, just not choosing to fight at all.
Okay, Air 404 calls it off because I saw Kalakun. He was in the right position to make something happen if necessary, but decides to back away knowing that Air 404 just can't cover that distance just yet. He needs to be within the lethal range of that magic thumb. Early recall here from Natco, preventing a dive onto RRQ's side, and things are actually going very smoothly, despite RRQ Tora actually having a bit of a lead.
Yeah, all things considered, this is the benefit of having this kind of comp. Ruff in trouble though, BMI already used into the red tree. Violent Requiem a little bit awkward there with the combo. Ruff still purifies, gets out.
Interesting, interesting. All right. He clearly doesn't have the damage yet. More importantly, it's just not landing super magic, where a majority of his damage is actually going to be in. Time, Sapat, he is... Yeah, this is tough. This is tough. If you don't get that proxy level 1, you lose control over this lane, and it's such a big tax to deal with. And I love the fact that RRQ Tora is actively communicating problems. Hey, Carry's diveable on bot side. Gary's already in position. Hey, I have control over top side. He might try and force. He's already on that top side, ready to cover.
Even towards the end of the regular season, one of the stronger points for RRQ Tora was that early game. They are a very good snowball team, and so far, doing a great job of playing for that timing. Dyron, though, might be ganked here. 3v1. They get the freeze in. Error 404 forces to purify. Dyron walks away.
Beautifully played by Dyron. Again, very patient. He doesn't need to use his purify unless absolutely necessary. And seeing Sapat use all of his cooldowns already gave him a good idea. Hey, as long as it's not Natco or at least Clawhood needs to join, I should be all right.
Keeping his wits about him. Gary spots up on Rector, comes in, but he gets caught in the Violent Requiem. First blood to Error 404, and now they have Turtle Prio.
Shouldn't be challenging Sapakito just yet. This is his strongest point. Game's gonna get hit by this.
Yeah, this is a lot of freeze damage. Forced out the Crimson Beacon. Taunt coming in from Widit to keep Sapat away, but should be a very free turtle for Team Vamos. Yep, secured.
Very nice. Very nicely done here. Overall, things are going as smoothly for Team Vamos as it possibly can. They got the kill. Sure, you don't get the turtle, but it's not the end of the world, right? Gary's sole purpose right now is to look for these ganks constantly. Any lane advantage, he needs to be able to cover it or press it. He needs to be what they call in the business a first responder.
This is where, though, I think we need to really see how well RRQ can respond. They've lost a little bit of that early momentum that they were playing with, and they have a tendency to retreat into a defensive stance when that happens towards the regular season. So far, they are keeping it safe. I want to see if they up the ante again.
Well, unless I see that gold lead increasing, we need to see a huge influx in the economy. Because right now, the people who are holding the leads are Ruff alongside with Dyrant. They're the only ones currently holding the leads, if I'm looking at this correctly. And it's a very tiny lead, right? Very minuscule in the big picture. So until we see like maybe mid-tier 1 go down, Witty shouldn't die here. Yeah, it's a wet noodle fight for the most part. They're moving as 4 now. Now Vamos is making sure that trying to cross the river is going to cost RRQ something.
Yeah, their zoning makes sure that RRQ can never really walk into the bushes. And again, this is one of the reasons why Yi Sun-shin was banned, to deny that information control so that Zkeep can just perfect match himself into bushes and constantly zone.
Now we see first items start to come through. Concentrated energy for Error 404. He's not going to go for Genius 1, so he's not looking for damage. He's looking to just sustain through it, which means the rest of his build is probably Bruiser. Zkeep? I don't know. When I think of Atlas, the hard part is how do you know when exactly he's going to dive? He's kind of like Tigreal, where as long as he gets the ult off with the flicker, there's a 90% chance you can catch him.
Oh, hold on. Nearly catches Ruff there. Forces Purify early, and another ultimate from Kim in the mid lane. Already a two-pronged attack. Falling Star Moon, unfortunately, doesn't really connect with anyone. So multiple resources spent on RRQ in exchange for basically nothing.
Very nice coming in from Vamos here. Again, synchronized attacks to create the space, and now they should be able to take this away no problem as they're looking for another engage.
Subbot flickers in, looks for Kim, goes for the wall, 1-2, finds the Zeus in, and this is no response. Where is RRQ? Why aren't they helping him?
They just kind of watched. They didn't want to get caught up in the fire of that knockout punch. Kept away from it. They have to sacrifice anybody. Apparently, Kim had to take the damage. But for the time being, Vamos, this is going exactly how they want it to. This is working like clockwork right now. Now with mid-tier 1 broken, the accessibility of the purple buff comes into question for RRQ Tora, right? They needed to use that mid-pressure early on to control the rotations. And now that they've kind of lost that foothold in the map, Team Vamos can now start pressuring the side lanes if they wanted to. Most likely not going to happen. It's going to be like a 4-1 split most of the time.
Yeah, this is what I was worried about when it came to RRQ. They had a good start, but you can see how when things don't really go their way, Sabat's gonna try and dodge Falling Star Moon. Is surrounded by 2. I don't think he'll get out of this one, so the Kingdom finds one back.
He whiffed. He whiffed. It's very tight mechanics. They have not increased the hitbox of that knockout strike. So if you whiff it, you're not going to get your charge back. In the meantime, Vamos, again, that 4-1 may have been broken, but that 4 is strong. And look at the coverage. Even Clockwood making sure that there's no real way to have access to that back line.
Right now, Natko already out farming Ruff, and we know how scary he is on this carry. Zkeep gonna go ahead and freeze Dyrant in place. Natko already doing a lot of damage. 1 hit from Hill, but they find another more valuable target. Gary gets spotted in the tri-brush.
Oh, very nice, very nice. They're making sure Natko is the main damage dealer, and they can't do anything about him when his ult is popped. Witty scared to walk up, and just the off chance he walks into Natko's autos. At this point, Vamos in full control. 1.7k now turning into a 2.1k lead as they extend it further into RRQ territory.
It's slightly slower, but a lot more deliberate for Vamos. You can see Natko can literally stand in the bush and ambush Siren, and here comes Zkeep to last the final blow. Another free tower fed into the carry, and this is now looking scary for RRQ.
Yep, one more component away until we see the full complete build from Natko. He's almost got Trinity at this point, and Subbot, he's doing a very good job. He's holding people off. Unfortunate that he missed out on his mechanics earlier, but he's covering the waves, and that's what Paquito brings to the table. He's the fastest clear, and he travels around the arguably faster than Vendetta.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit of panic seep in. RRQ clearly not really knowing what they're supposed to do on the map right now, especially after that gank failed up top. They literally traded objective control to try and pick off this Paquito, and honestly, even if they succeeded, I wouldn't have said it was the most worth it.
Yeah. Don't know what the cost analysis is going to look like here, but look at the full items and exactly how I envisioned it to be. A 4.1k, 3-item carry. Natko is going to be the main focus here.
Look at just how aggressively Nako can position. He knows his team has his back. This is Nako's carry in a nutshell. The gold lead, 1.2k in favor of the carry of Wide Berth. Already done with the Trinity, working on the next item. And that 4.7k gold lead looking dangerous.
Yep. Now looking at Sapat's build, he is following almost one-to-one how Sanford was building his matchup against Mr. Flap on the Esme, right? First item, you're looking for that Hunter Strike. Second item, some people are thinking maybe Malefic Roar is good. Here, instead, we go for the opposite. We go for the Heft. Wait, hold on.
Ziki, he's looking for it. No, not even going to commit to Fatal Links yet. He doesn't need to. He does get lifted up, so he will die, but his job is done because Witty falls in return. Look at Natko. The Lord collides into the crystal. Still, it's only 10 minutes in, but they do get the lift up. Natko in trouble, has to flick around. Blazing into it to chase him, but there's just no damage. Natko survives despite it all. And Vamos sticks around.
Oh man, Natko able to out-sustain with the help of his autos. But that was a little messy coming in from Vamos admittedly. Like, they should, and they need to make a decision. Are they walking in for the fight or nah?
Sabat actually winning out that 1v1, getting away. Nako definitely went a little too aggro right there. Could have been punished hard for that one. Because Vamos does need their goal laner to keep pushing, but we can see that hold on, mid lane, they find Witty, AOG comes out, Gary tries to go for the gang, RRQ cancels out, Subbat comes in from behind, punches him, but Natko actually does fall. RRQ Tora found their quarry, but can they survive? 2-man Fatal Link from Ziki, picks up the 2 tanks, and the 2 tanks are gone, no longer existing on the field, even without the marksman. Clockwood nearly dies to Fractor, but he'll be able to escape. Retreat keeps Subbat away. Meanwhile, Ziki gonna tank the tower. Violent Requiem gonna be committed, they find another, Ruff goes down, only Gary left standing. Does Ramos want to end right here? Fracture doesn't get the kill, they get the knockup. Gary just barely survives, clears the minion wave. They'll hold for now.
Woo! All right, at least Air 404 didn't end up trading over. Sabat, I think it's clear. He's a little rusty, but he's got the instincts. He's doing everything that you want the Paquito to do. Sometimes he whiffs just a little bit, but it's not the end of the world.
Just Paquito things.
It's just Paquito things, right? It's either you hit it or you miss it. And either way, Sabat at least is getting the correct target priority. Hey, I'm trying to zone away Gary. I'm trying to make sure that Ruff is afraid when I have my cooldowns up, and that's the thing. It's all about maintaining those cooldowns. He's not leaving auto attacks in every single time. He's not actively trading to maintain war axe stacks. No, he's in and out. Simple as that.
But look at where Gary is. They do commit the Fatal Links. They'll catch Witty, but they miss the Violent Requiem. AOG used defensively to get out. Meanwhile, Gary from behind fractures the lineup for Vamos. 2 of the cores are taken out instantly. Sabat trying to play the hero 1v4 in the back line. But Kim able to run away this time. Double kill for Ruff while Dyron zones. And that is a throw if I've ever seen one from Vamos.
Unfortunate. Missed mechanics. That's the only way that they lose this. They have a composition that can deal with RRQ Tora quite easily if necessary, but it all depends on whether or not they make sure that they don't miss. How? Fatal Links into Magic, now that should be an easy combination. You have all the time in the world to set it up and even watch the animation in slow motion to land it.
But I think we gotta give props to Gary for that one. The ambush play setup, Vamos was not expecting it. And Natko has been dead early in these fights, twice in a row now. This carries momentum being halted heavily, and Ruff just got a double kill as well. That'll even up the net worth.
Let's see whether he's actually caught up in terms of net worth. Actually, he has. He's only 200 off to catch up to Natko at this point, which is more than enough because that means his Trinity is also complete. With a dead even 41 to 41, we now have to look at the people who scale, and this is my biggest problem with RRQ Tora. Sure, Dyron can make the fight last long as he wants to, but I think it's Natko who wins that out. Ruff, on the other hand, needs to burst out Natko, but it's winds of nature that he has to deal with.
Pretty much. We know that Claude is very much fail-safe if things go wrong as long as he's able to scale. But he is basically the only late-game core that RRQ have to play around with. You can see it still takes him a while to actually burn through Ziki. Gary, once again. Oh, error! He knows! He found him! The Violent Requiem locks down the Nolan, and they take him out! The same trick won't work twice.
Wowza. Make sure. Keep it. Again, great instinct. Great instinct from Arrow 404. That's how he should be looking to play this Guinevere. And once again, Sumpad trying to hold his own onto the mid side.
Oh, he survives. That's a heavy left punch right there. Gets the shield back. Zkeef now looking for a pickup. He sees them. The freeze comes through and Ruff goes down. Window Nature not going to save him in that case. The final fatal links on Witty. Going to pull him forward while Subbat zones the back. AOG going to be used. Witty gets out. Dyren will tank a good amount here. So RQ only loses one.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Really sick tech coming in from Zkeef. He comes on and trying to make sure that he guarantees the stun, knowing that he's been sticking onto the same target for long enough to try and trigger the passive. So again, there's multiple layers that somebody has to do. Like Ruff thinking, wait, do I purify right now? He still has ult, but again, the bodies haven't combined yet, but his passive is about to go off.
And even the Wind of Nature couldn't save him because Clawkun just comes in and blasts him in the face full of lead. Wishing Lantern, Divine Glaive hits like a truck. And now, last item completed from Natko.
I disagree with the Rose goal, but I'm assuming that he's got way too much money.
Maybe. Because, yeah, you probably wouldn't want to build that against Esme, but...
The only way you die is either to like Gary and Ruff ulting you at the same time, right?
Yeah.
You seed and then you get hit by either Ruff or Gary, you die anyway, so that there's a no-brainer there. So it's just the wand that you need.
Well, we'll see whether that works out for him there, because it's a lot harder to item swap off a Rose Gold than Immortality, for example. But Vamos will take control of the Lord first. Net worth difference is still even, I will say.
Yep. Looking at item builds as well, already completed. Majority are getting into their max build as well. Vamos, prime position here, but just look at the way that they're going to have to think about this fight, right? Because no matter what, Subbat is always going to be able to clear faster than Dyren. So they can play this game forever.
Dyren doing a really good job of holding the mid side, actually doing some good poke as well. Clawkun. Zkeef gonna start zoning. Because Dyren is around, Subbat can't just go willy-nilly and start split pushing waves. It's always going to be a 4-and-1 split from both teams.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff coming out from RRQ. Again, the push and pull is important. This is what we call the Lord Dance, right? And it's for good reason. But at least we're expanding it from outside of the Lord Pit and pushing and pulling closer towards the mid lane of the river. Oh, here we go.
Subbat coming in. He's going to aim for Ruff. Does a lot of damage to Claws right away, but gets stopped. Meanwhile, Zkeef going to be freezing the fight in the middle of the river. Subbat going to get slowly burnt down. AOG used defensively. Subbat somehow actually gets out of that situation, and they find the light of Requiem. Gonna force Dyren to purify out of the position, but beaten Vamos use a lot. Basil links up too into the knockout strike, but Ruff comes in blazing towards in the back. Natko gonna be able to survive. Clawkun picks up the mega kill. It is an absolute back and forth. Subbat, how is he still alive? Subbat going back in, trying to brush down Kim, but that's gonna be the end of it. Finally, Clawkun nearly trades for Ruff, both on very low HP, and the rest of Vamos coming in. RQ gonna need to disengage from this position, but Kim probably not getting out of this one, logically speaking. Natko gonna flicker away from Lantern, picks him up, Fracture comes through, Error falls to the respawn of Gary.
Not sure whether the flicker was necessary coming in from Natko, but take what you will. Take as much as you can. We're already getting into the ultra late game, and finally we see the item swap. Oh. This is dangerous, because again, the push and pull is amazing, but at the same time, look at how unprepared, like a majority of the members here from Vamos actually are on the re-engage, right? Natko, no spinning light. Well, he already used it early on into the middle of the fight. Subbat also had already used his cooldowns as well. This is a very coin flip moment for Vamos, and that's why Zkeef is great. He finds those little moments to try and table flip it against RRQ Tora, but it comes at a certain degree of risk.
It really does, and we can see here why Atlas is being prioritized so much for his ability to just control momentum in kind of a similar way to Marcel, just not as flashy in the way that it happens. Team Vamos will regain control over the Lord, but RQ now are the ones holding the slight goal lead. Still, Subbat not able to split push evenly.
But show top side right now, because they're taking control over this Lord Pit in the most critical areas. Without it, until he shows, RRQ Tora ain't gonna move out too far, and I think that Vamos right now just need to start bluffing. They gotta bluff as if he's here.
Well, the Conceal gonna come out, but literally pops it in front of the hold on. Violet Requiem, they find Witty in the bush, revitalize, keeps him alive for a while, but Natko is there. The carry is literally designed for situations like this. The Katana goes down, Subbat's in the back line, he fights Ruff, Subbat Kiddo! He found the target, and now Vamos is going all in like a zebra flicker. Fatal Links catches Gary as well mid-air. He's gonna have to use the Winter Crown, but we all know that Gary is not getting out of this one. Vamos have taken out 4 members of RRQ, and now the Kingdom is looking to drop their first game. The Crystal
portal is open. They're literally diving the fountain. Vamos takes game number 1.
The Lord